Let's go. This caught me out. The one thing that caught me out when I started YouTube in my 50s. You've spent weeks, months, or maybe even years pondering whether to start a YouTube account, career, hobby. But you're not getting any younger. Time's passing by and you're feeling the pressure of what you're going to do. So you take the plunge. You think, do you know what? I'm just going to give it a go. What do I want to talk about? I've got so much to talk about. I've lived a lot. I'm in my 50s. I've lived a life. I've been through loads of things. I've got loads of stories. The world is my oyster. YouTube is my platform to share my voice. So you decide to start. So you've spent 3 hours or more thinking about a video idea. Then you spend another 2 hours filming the video idea. Oh no, you write a script first. You think about the script, that can take a little while. And then you film, so that's another couple of hours. And then you need to do all the editing. There's another couple of hours. You're thinking about the song choices, the type of text that you want to put on, any little extras that you want to add to the videos, any extra videos you want to overlay over the top, any pictures that you want to add on to give emotion, to help with the emotion. Then there's the thumbnail design and of course the title and the description that goes underneath the video. It's quite a lot to think about, right? It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort going into this. And then we get to the stage where we're thinking about publishing. So we've got all this ready. We've spent hours and hours preparing this beautiful masterpiece of a video or an episode, whatever we want to call it. And our fingers are hovering over the listing. We're hovering over it and we're going, we just need to do it. We just need to take some deep breaths and we just need to pray and say, okay, God, I'm going to send this out now into the universe and this is for you to deal with. So we're brave and we click publish. We're published. We're out there. We're out there in the public. And then what? And then what happens? What happens inside our brains? What happens inside our nervous systems? Who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm Lolly. I'm just a regular woman in her 50s who's decided to start posting on YouTube because I've got a lot to say and it needs to come out. And I don't know where this is going. I'm just doing it one day at a time. I'm learning this one step at a time and I'm sharing my journey. And I'm sharing what posting on YouTube is bringing up in me and how I'm dealing with that and how I'm overcoming everything that it's bringing up in me to be able to continue to move forward. Because quite honestly, it's not for the faint-hearted. I could have given up 100 times already by now, but I'm still here. So I want to share why I'm still here. I have some notes with me because I'm new at this. I'm an amateur and my brain doesn't hold information too well. So I'm going to be glancing down at my notes when I need to. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that because take it or leave it. So I don't know about you, but I've had plenty of disappointment in my life to make me want to look at disappointment and make me want to look at actually what is disappointment? Why do we feel it? What do we do with it? How can we move through it? I mean, I can't imagine many people get to their 50s without being faced with a lot of disappointment in one way or another. Might be jobs that we've wanted and didn't get, might be marriages that we've had that didn't turn out how we wanted them to, could be our kids have gone a different way to what we expected, and that brings up disappointment in us. But when it comes to YouTube, we're dealing with disappointment on a daily basis, right? So we've got to figure out, how are we going to manage this disappointment? Because I'm pretty sure this is one of the big reasons that stops people from continuing. So we've made the video, we've published the video, and we're thinking, this is going to be a good one. I've got a good feeling about this. So we've got an expectation about this video, right? So the expectation we've got, even though we're saying, or even though I say to myself, okay, don't have really high expectations, because you're really new, you're learning, you don't know what you're doing. Let's keep the expectations quite low. But secretly in my head, I'm secretly thinking, well, but maybe this one will resonate. Maybe this one will find the person, and the person will watch, and then more people will watch. And maybe this is the video that's really going to help. So I have these expectations, and then I have the reality of what happens, because I post a video, might get a couple of views, and then it kind of, nothing happens. So you kind of think, well, okay, let's just give it some time. And then in my mind, I'm thinking that this was a lot of work, but it's all right. It's okay, because I'm new at this, and all these things are going in my head. And so my expectation is here, but the reality is here. The reality that actually maybe 10 people have seen this video so far. Maybe 25 people have seen this video so far, but it's not thousands, is it? It's not changing the world, but maybe it is, in a way, because sometimes you only need to speak to one person, and then that has a butterfly effect in their lives. And that's what I'm trying to focus on. So I might speak to one person today in this video that this message gets to, and it helps them understand, oh, yes. And then that can help change things in their life, which that is, I think, a really good way of approaching this, through what we're learning, not vanity metrics of how many people have seen it, how many likes, all the analytics, which I don't really understand yet anyway. So, but what these expectations bring up is the story that we then attach to these expectations. So we have the expectation, and then we have the reality. So then that gap there between the two is our little disappointment gap. So if the gap is like this, we expect 10 people to watch, and 5 watch. It's not too bad, is it? But if we kind of think, well, this, secretly in our head, we're thinking, well, this could be the good one. This could be the one that's going to get 100 views. So my expectation is a little bit higher, and then the reality of 10 or 20 views is down here. So there's a bigger gap. So there's a bit more disappointment there for me to deal with. And so what I've got to be careful of, and what you need to be careful of when you are doing this yourself, is what story are we attaching to that expectation and that disappointment? What story, if we zoom out, what are we telling ourselves about the results of each video? What are we telling ourselves? Are we telling ourselves, well, I'm just rubbish at this. Nobody's interested in what I've got to say. nobody cares what I've got to say. I'm not cared for. I'm not loved. I mean, it can get quite big. I'm just no good at speaking. I can't articulate my thoughts properly. I'm rubbish at editing. I'm rubbish at filming. I'm rubbish at script writing. I'm never going to make this. I'm wasting my time. Now, that's the big one. The big one is I'm wasting my time. I'm spending hours thinking about the video, making the video, editing the video, putting the video out, watching the video, hoping, praying, and not much is happening. So that's the story that I'm attaching to this, is that I'm wasting my time. So then what do I do with that? Well, I have to think, but am I wasting my time? Because I'm learning new things. Every video I'm making, it's making me really think and process so many things. I'm learning. I mean, I've watched hundreds of videos. I've watched so many videos on YouTube about how to grow on YouTube. What settings to have, what time to post, who are you talking to, so many things. And it's a lot for a little brain to deal with. But what's going to keep me going? What's going to drive me forward? What's going to give me the motivation? What is going to make me be consistent and want to stay consistent? And I think right now it's me just focusing on what I'm learning and what I say might help someone. It might help you. It might help you. Because if you know what you're letting yourself in for, it's not such a shock. We've all seen videos where some people just take off within weeks. And then we hear of other stories where people have been on YouTube for 10 years. And for whatever reason, their accounts aren't growing. Who knows? Who knows? Because it's so vast. And there's secretiveness. Obviously, there's going to be secretiveness around actually how the algorithm really works. I don't mean from creators, I mean from the people that create the algorithm. Because if everyone succeeded, it wouldn't be as much of a dopamine hit or like a game, like a casino game. It taps into that adrenaline and to the addictiveness. And I imagine there's probably a lot of personalities on here who have tendencies to have not addictions, but to get really into something. Because I guess all humans have a tendency to become addicted to things. It's just what are you addicted to? Some people are addicted to things that we might consider bad, like drugs or alcohol, or gambling. And then some people are addicted to things that we consider are healthy addictions, like eating certain foods or going to the gym 6 days a week, or anything. You can be addicted to anything. Creating YouTube videos. So we've got to think about the balance as well, the balance of, okay, so how many hours a day am I going to allow myself to focus on this? I have a tendency to hyperfocus. So I have a tendency to, even if I say to myself, right, I'm going to do an hour thinking about a video, an hour filming the video, an hour editing the video, that's 3 hours. That's it. I know that's not going to happen, because I know that even when I go off and I'm doing other things, my brain's going, okay, what should we do next? What should we do next? Because I love, my passion is working out why I do the things I do, and how I overcome my difficulties, how I overcome things like people pleasing, codependency, and so many things, barriers that hold me back, my self-limiting beliefs, about what I'm capable of, about how good I can get at something, about how successful I can get at something, about what if I am successful, what fears that brings up in me. If I am successful, how am I going to handle that? So there's even a self-limiting barrier sometimes that we put upon ourselves where we'll sabotage our own success because we have a fear of being successful, because what that brings attention, what that brings is responsibility, what that brings is, it could bring money, it could bring finances, and then what do you do with that? How do we handle that? Are we responsible with that? And I think we can do all these things as well subconsciously without even really realizing it. So I'm just going to check my notes because I think I may have gone on a bit of a tangent. So the story that we attach to the results, the story that we attach to the results of getting 25 views instead of 2,500 views, what we tell ourselves about our self-worth, who we are, can we take up space? Am I entitled to take up space on this platform? Am I entitled to speak? Am I entitled to share my thoughts and my opinions? So when all these stories come up, how I deal with it is, well, firstly, I pray, because that is my go-to. I don't want to spiritually bypass the humanness of what we experience on earth. And through our humanness, we need to understand psychology, because we need to understand how to overcome things. God wants to teach us how to overcome things. We can't just say, oh, well, I put this story on this about my disappointment. God, take away my disappointment. He's not going to just take away our disappointment. He will teach us what we need to understand about our disappointment, what we need to understand about why we're disappointed, what story are we telling ourselves about why we're disappointed. And then when we can recognize that and acknowledge that and understand that, and then we can ask ourselves, and we can ask him, is this true? Then we will know the truth, and then we can move forward from the disappointment. This is the way I look at it. Not everyone might agree with me, but this is how I live out my faith on a day-to-day basis. This is what I do, because I don't see the point. Well, I do see the point of having faith regardless, but faith has a purpose, because that's why we need a relationship with Jesus. That's why we need the relationship, so he can teach us. The Holy Spirit can teach us, so we can understand our own psychology and our own behaviors and our own beliefs and what we do with that. So we ask ourselves, is it true? Is it true that nobody cares about my video? No, maybe just no one's really seen my video. Is it true that I don't deserve a voice? No, that's not true. Everyone deserves a voice. Is it true that I can't take up space? I shouldn't take up space? No, everyone deserves space on this platform. Is it true that I'm not cared for and I'm not loved? No, That is not true, because I am loved by God. I am cared for by God, regardless of, even if there's not one human on earth that cares for me, I know that God does. And that's my key to the door that helps me come to terms with people not liking me or people thinking I'm talking rubbish. It's fine. It's all right. I can deal with that. It's not a problem. It's okay. Also, what I want to say about disappointment is, I'm not saying don't be disappointed, because disappointment is just a normal part of life. And it's a good opportunity to look at the disappointment and ask ourselves the questions of, why am I disappointed? But when we hold on to that disappointment, when we allow that disappointment to tell us the lies, that's when we risk disappointment stealing our joy. If we're not careful, we can allow disappointment to steal our joy. And we can't let that happen. So we can just use it as a good lesson. We can just use it as a way to understand ourselves better and deeper, and to acknowledge what we're feeling, and then to move forwards through that feeling, to know what's true and what isn't true, to then choose what we're going to do instead, to keep moving forwards. And just remember as well, when I post the video, what I try to do now, I post the video, and of course I'm going to pop back in to check and see if it's gaining any traction, to see how many people have watched it, to see if there's any comments. But it's really releasing that. So rather than focusing on, I'm just going to keep checking and seeing how it's doing, it's trying to move my focus onto the next video. So as soon as I post the video, it's out there. There's not really much I can do apart from going back and checking to see if there's any comments that I want to respond to. There's nothing really, I don't think, I mean, unless there's some algorithm thing to do, I don't know. But I need to focus on the next video. So publish, release, move straight on to the next idea. Of course, that does bring up a little bit of a tendency to get a bit obsessed with it. And I don't know, you might be better than me at organizing your time in that way of like, well, you know, this is the time I'm doing this. This is the time I do something else. I'm working on that. But then if I focus on the next video and start working on that, I've released that other one, and just focus on the benefit that I'm getting from it and how I might be helping one person or more people. So I think with disappointment, I think we should definitely feel it. Feel the disappointment, look at it, see what it's bringing up in us. Ask what's true and what isn't true. But don't allow the disappointment to become the main thing. So don't allow it to give you a verdict on you, what your belief is on you. So if this video has helped you, then please come back for more, because I don't know where this is going. I don't have a plan of where this is going. I'm sharing at the moment, I'm just sharing the journey of what's coming up in me as I'm posting videos and how I'm moving through that as a woman in her 50s who is just trying to figure out a new way of living life now, in a different season of life now. And if anything I've said has helped you, then you might want to watch the next video, which, oh, I can't remember. I'm just going to check which one I'm going to put up. If you're feeling behind, try this. Yeah, I hope it helps. See you next time. Bye.